Just got some cacao. I've been considering these video topics, and stuff has been coming to me as of late. The one I'd like to share with you today is visited by suicide. Yeah, visited by suicide. So this internal family systems approach around the parts work. Got quite a few videos talking about that from a dualistic lens, the human experience, how it feeds into EMDR. It's always present with us now. Beautiful therapy, beautiful way of interacting with self as well. And then from a non-dual lens of consciousness, having a human experience is this human experience which we can use to understand parts and self-energy. And then from a non-dual lens, that the self-energy could actually be maybe a representation of what consciousness is as it's interacting with the human experience. So beautiful way of looking at life. Today I was visited by suicide, and it's been really interesting because I was just having a chat with my lovely wife Lisa, and saying, hey, I'm getting tired of living. I'm getting tired of living. I actually said there's parts of me that feel this, you know. So there's a part of me that feels it's really tired of living. It's tired of doing this same stuff each and every day, and it's quite nihilistic in nature. So it has a dialogue, and when we talk about parts, there's a belief system, a dialogue, a narrative, a body sensation like feeling state, and then there's a behaviour. So this part, and I'll call it tired of living part rather than suicide part. It's tired of living, because it's not like, oh, let's go and we need to kill ourselves now. It's more so, fuck, I'm getting really tired of this. I could just check out now. Yeah. So honest, the intensity is like, it's more so, I'm just so resigned. I've got nothing more, that sort of thing. Now, I noticed that it visits me when I'm feeling that, in that state. We've done a recent video around polyvagal. So we're much in, and I'll find that and put it below. We're much in a dorsal state, shut down, wanting to withdraw, a feeling state, sense of hopelessness, worthlessness, no choices, too much, overwhelming. So, and whether that's, and it's usually because of something's happening in the environment. So whether that environment is based upon stuff that happened in the past or stuff that's happening now, but just triggering, revealing stuff that's happening in the past, or it's, I don't have any future, that sort of thing. So these parts will come and they will also go. So I noticed that I'd been visited by this part of me, too tired to live, I think it was. And it was having this conversation. So what it was doing, and it was really interesting because I'm getting much better at this, because I've been visited by parts very similar. So this one had a different flavour to it. Other parts, and I don't know if it grows and evolves, or there's another part that wants to step out of life. And it's not necessarily, I'm too tired, I can't do this. It's just in such fear that I can't handle this. So I think that there's a different energy to that, and they might wear quite similar clothes. However, there can be a nuance between it. So I've been visited by these parts over many years, and obviously I haven't made any attempts. Noticed that recently there was a bit more of a plan, that I hadn't thought before. However, I thought, okay, interesting, you're creative, let's go there. So these parts have great skill sets, and what I was also noticing too was that the parts actually give us hope. So these parts that it's all too much, I could easily step out, or I could step out. It gives us hope of taking away the pain. The pain that's led us to that, the overwhelmingness, the sharpness, the trauma. So that part says, hey, I can help with that. It's actually got a good set of planning skills as well, so it then starts to think about particular things and how to, what do I prepare? So there's a skill set that comes into that as well. Once again, I'm trying to look at, I am looking at parts from what is the information that they have for me, rather than I am the part. So if I am the part, then I do want to step out. It's all too much, and this is the way that I'm going to do it. Whereas if I notice that there is this part visiting me, just as there are other parts visit me, happiness, might visit me, excitement, that sort of thing. Guilt, shame, frustration, sadness, loss, just pissed off at the world, that sort of thing. So they're going to come and visit me as much as this is, and it's this, the signature of this this part. It's very unique. So for some people, that part is more prevalent than others, and it gets a lot of airtime, and then people take on the role of the part. Well, I am this, and that's the challenge. So I've had the awareness that I was visited by suicide, visited by this is all too much part, and able to listen into it, able to have it, listen to it, considerations, and once acknowledging it, it then starts to soften a bit more, and it's sort of like, hey, just letting you know that I'm here if you do want to do this, and then it can then sort of step back. So it's one of the, it's a pressure releaser. It's one of the greatest safety mechanisms in a sense, because it will take you away from your ultimate pain by taking you away ultimately. And the challenge here is that if we are the part, then we might be more likely to stay in that part and then follow through with the behaviour that's associated to it. When we have the awareness, we can see that it's a part, we can see the value that it has and the information that it has available to us by the inquiry of it, loving inquiry, and then thank it for giving us that information, thank it for letting us know that this is where we're at the moment, and here's some, and then we can get other parts to go, hey, what did we do last time that we were here? We've got this memory. We did this, and then we slowly worked ourselves up the ladder of the polyvagal, and we've got movement, and now I'm talking to people, and now there's a little bit more hope, and here's some rays of sunshines, and I'm a bit more up into the ventral where I can see that there is a connection. So it's about that awareness, noticing that this part is here for a reason, has particular information, and when we listen to it, it is more likely to reside, not reside, but step back and still be there in the peripheries, wanting to keep us safe, and wanting to keep us safe while we are moving through life. So, yeah. I hope that has been helpful, and in the main context that when I say we judge our parts, that's actually another judging part, because self-energy is, it's compassionate, it's non-judgmental, it's already safe, it's curious, it wants to get to know the part. It's these other parts that go, this is a terrible part, it's got no value, we need to get rid of it. When other people talk about their parts too, and this is also something related to another video I did around the you lie until you feel safe enough to tell the truth. So do I feel safe enough when someone asks me, how are you? You say, hey, I've actually been visited by suicide lately, rather than I'm having suicidal thoughts. Or you could say I am having suicidal thoughts, but who's the I that's having them? I'm noticing that there has been some suicidal thoughts. I'm noticing that I'm getting tired of living. So do I feel safe enough to talk about that? And if I don't feel safe enough to it, then I'm probably not going to. So no, everything's okay. So when we can recognize this within ourselves, we can also recognize it within others. Right, okay, how long has this part been with you? How long have you been feeling this way? Okay, what's that related to? So now we're getting curious and they're feeling safer because we're inquiring into it. There's some interest. Now you might have some discomfort with that because of past events. And this is once again another opportunity to become aware of those parts within you, within us. So see how this parts work is this internal, the awareness of it, this internal system as a collective, and then also the awareness of others' internal systems as a collective as well too. A beautiful way of, I think, just interacting with self and then also interacting with others. Cool. Hope you found that helpful. It may have activated some parts for you. Here's a good opportunity to sit with those parts and inquire into them. Get to know them. Get to know them. Comments, please let me know. I know that this is an activating topic, so it'd be interesting to see what has arisen for you. Thank you, everyone.